The reason why so many coaches and online service providers talk about doing the mindset work and the inner work before their business blew up is because your marketing and your selling becomes way more unfiltered and potent when you do the inner work. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, your business and mindset coach and the imposter syndrome expert of the coaching industry. Today, we have a little Jill's Journal vibe for the pod. And if you missed it, last year I did these unscripted episodes, and even though today is scripted, I am still giving you the tea. So, I have 5 lessons today from 5.5 years of being a coach, and I have got some zingers for you. I literally could do 50 of these episodes, by the way, but we won't get too crazy today. But before we do that, let me tell you about how you can work with me for the rest of 2023. The first way is the Fraud Squad, which is my 12-week mastermind. This mastermind is for coaches and online service providers who are between 0K and 5K in income per month and are ready to break through past this current income level. In this mastermind, you will refine and perfect your messaging and unfilter yourself and your content. You'll overcome imposter syndrome and self-doubt so you can be so confident in how you show up, and you will let yourself be seen online and known for what you do. And you'll sign dream clients into your programs because you'll be selling, because you own a business and it's time to stop self-sabotaging and make this shit happen. We are doing it in the Fraud Squad, my 12-week mastermind. And the next round starts at the beginning of September, and we open the doors to enroll next Monday. So right now you can go to the link in my show notes and get on the wait list, and you can save $111 on enrollment when the doors open on Monday. Yay! However, if you are scaling to 6 or multiple 6 figures, my one-to-one coaching is going to be more your vibe. My clients in one-to-one are scaling their businesses without sabotaging their next level of wealth or worthiness and creating businesses that they fucking love working in. So many of my one-to-one clients have had experiences of their income going down when it used to be steady, or experiences that damage their confidence, or just feeling like a fraud as they up-level into a new version of themselves and into their business. And the coaching we do in one-to-one builds their self-worth and their confidence right back up. You have my eyes on all of your strategy, like messaging, marketing, sales, content, and launching. And the vibe is just more confidence, more money, more aligned clients, more fucking abundance in all areas of your life. I am so intentional about who I take on in this space because it is my highest proximity container, with 3 one-to-one calls a month, a one-to-one Voxer chat with me, all of my courses and the one-to-one coaching curriculum, and workshops exclusively for my one-to-one clients each month. The investment is $10K pay in full, and if you pay in full, you get an extra month of coaching and Voxer for totally free. And there's also options for a monthly payment plan and an extended payment plan. So go to the link in my show notes and pick your poison. You can apply to work with me one-to-one at the link in my show notes, or you can get on the wait list for the Fraud Squad that opens on Monday at the link in my show notes as well. Now, let's get into this episode. Like I said, I have learned so many things from being in business for 5.5 years. And this first lesson that I want to share with you is the fact that I am not entitled to results in my business, and neither are you. And this is a tough one to swallow. No matter how long it's been, there is no set amount of time that finally everything is easy and the results come easily. So let me rewind back to the end of 2021 to the beginning of 2022. I had only been full-time in my business for less than a year, and I was still investing big money into my business. I invested into a mastermind that was a large payment every month, and then to get into the second round, it was going to be a pay in full. So big amounts of money were being spent. And while my income was a full-time income, it began to go down, and I actually had to drive for Uber Eats for a hot minute. Now, I'm going to allude to why my income went down near the end of this episode, but let's stay on the entitlement piece here for a second. So I drove for Uber Eats for just a month to tide over my income, and it was painful. I had so many negative thoughts about myself, and I had imposter syndrome and all of the things. And even though my income steadily increased as 2022 went on, nothing really shifted until I released this underlying belief or thought that I should be farther along at this point. Things should be happening for me. I've earned it. I've done the work. I was actually coaching somebody once, and they said that to me, and I actually didn't know this person super well, but I basically was like, you're not owed anything. She was really mad at me. She was really mad because business isn't like a corporate job where you climb the ladder and then you automatically get privileges and shit. Like, it's work to build influence. You have to stay consistent with your messaging. You have to show the fuck up consistently for years. You have to speak to your clients in an empowered way. You have to sell offers that are clear and get your clients results. You aren't entitled to shit. And this kind of feeling of being entitled to results really held me back for way longer than it should have because I was so fucking stubborn internally. Like, my inner child was definitely having a temper tantrum. But it doesn't make things go faster, and it actually means that you're less likely to take the action you need to take. And it's just a bad fucking attitude, if I'm being honest. Like, I had a very pivotal moment in 2022 when I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to act like I did in 2018 when I was just starting out and had nothing to lose. And my income did a total 180 after this shift. So the first lesson that I wanted to leave this episode with is you're not entitled to results because the online space is not linear whatsoever. You don't just pay your dues and then you can coast. It requires your investment and your involvement 100% of the time. And this is radical responsibility and radical involvement in your business. I've also learned that your mindset affects every single part of your strategy. Like, fucking duh, okay? But hear me out. Whenever my sales have dipped, it is in direct correlation to my confidence, but not just because of showing up and selling. Also, because of the quality of the decisions that I'm making when I'm not feeling myself. And let me just say too, that having an emotion does not equate to how confident you are. You can be having an off day or an anxious day and you can still be completely confident in yourself and your business. Emotions and confidence don't have to correlate. So to continue, I would take forever to make decisions. I'd overthink everything and I'd be incessantly tweaking things in my business when I didn't feel confident. And when I talk about consistency, this is actually what I mean. There needs to be consistency in your messaging, and constantly changing things based on how you feel in every moment can be more damaging than helpful. By all means, use your intuition to create offers and trust the hell out of yourself. But I also think that if you're self-aware enough, you can tell the difference between making a decision out of impatience and impulsiveness versus making a decision from your intuition and because it genuinely lights you up to do so. Like changing your Instagram bio a million times, questioning what you're selling, changing who your ideal client is constantly, or what you help someone do. This is coming from thoughts that are not your highest self. And when your mindset isn't in the right place, you will actually be more avoidant to creating posts, sharing testimonials, selling, creating emails. But even if you are doing those actions, it still affects the quality of your actions and also the quality of your decisions. It's like you can have the most beautiful shower with a powerful shower head, but if the water pressure sucks balls, then your experience is going to be affected. You may get the job done, but not in the way it's supposed to be done. You feel me? Hey guys, I hope you're loving today's episode. I am just taking a brief pause in today's episode to share with you a client testimonial. These testimonials are either from group coaching clients or clients who are in my one-to-one coaching program. And I can't wait for you to hear how I have changed their lives and their businesses for the better.
During the time that I worked with her, she gave me the courage to raise my prices. She held space for me as I worked through countless limiting beliefs and breakthroughs, and she supported me as I finally launched my first online course. She was always there when I needed her, and having her there to cheer me on and build me up and lovingly call me out on my bullshit helped me infinitely and enabled me to show up more powerfully and confidently for my audience and in my services.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Now let's get back to the episode. And lesson number 3, anything can fucking happen. Literally anything at any time. And because of the human condition, we create these rules around ourselves about how it's supposed to happen and when it's supposed to happen and how we need to know exactly what it's going to look like. And time again, I am reminded by the universe how nothing is linear in the online space and when you own a business. But truly, when you believe things are possible for you, when you're making moves, when you're committed to unlearning the stories and beliefs that are between you and what you want, magic fucking happens. And it is so much more fun and so much easier to believe that anything is possible instead of basing your success on what you think is going to happen or what your limiting beliefs tell you isn't going to happen. Most of my clients are never even on my radar. They legitimately come out of nowhere, hyperfixating on engagement, on metrics, on certain people, looking at your Instagram stories. It's easier to do that, and it's easier to focus on these things because the brain wants something to focus on. But I'm telling you, if you're focused on being visible, on creating excellent content, on your mindset, your results are inevitable and anything can happen at any time. You can have the shittiest month and then have your highest month. You can be super uninspired and then have your best idea for an offer come out of nowhere. You could decide on the kind of client you're going to call in and somebody could literally drop out of the sky the next day. Miracles are possible here, and it's so important to live in that miracle and become aware when your brain wants to take you to that logical, linear place. Fuck what's happened before that you think means something about you. You are creating your future right now, and it can be whatever you want it to be. Lesson number 4. I am the person that people want to work with. I fucking love this one. And you are the person that people want to work with. Whether you're a coach or an online service provider, people want to work with you. Whether you like that sentiment or not, they fucking do. And who the fuck wants to hire someone that doesn't like themselves, who doesn't accept themselves, who thinks they're a hot mess? I actually told one of my clients recently to stop calling herself a hot mess because having ADHD, it's so easy to feel like a hot mess, but you're not. It's just your brain and how it functions. You can just hold a lot of thoughts and ideas and states in your mind at once. And I think that's a fucking skill, not something to judge yourself on, for real. But people do want to work with you. They want your expertise, your experience, and they want who you are and how you make them feel. You are totally and completely your brand, and I want you to think of yourself as that highest version of you, making all the money in the world, potentially writing a book or commanding a stage. She likes herself. She actually loves herself. And she believes that people want to work with her, that they want her work, and that they see value in the work that she does. The reason why so many coaches and online service providers talk about doing the mindset work and the inner work before their business blew up is because your marketing and your selling becomes way more unfiltered and potent when you do the inner work. Because you actually like yourself. You have compassion for yourself. You're not judging yourself. You have thoughts that are empowering and encouraging, and there's an unconscious belief and understanding that you're worthy of other people feeling the same about you, right? Because if we really get down to it, we might be able to accept love and adoration and praise and whatever if we don't think we deserve it, but do we actually internalize it? Probably not. And that's what matters. When you do like and love and accept and understand yourself, you actually accept the praise and attention from others. You believe them and you believe that it's true. And if you don't believe it, you'll reject it. And selling your services, I think, requires you to fucking like yourself and like what you're doing and love your offers and your brain and what you come up with. And we didn't go into business to hate what we do and how we do things, right? And to piggyback off the lesson of believing that you're the person people want to work with, never, ever outsource your power or your self-trust. Ever. So I won't get too into details, but I have had an experience over the past 5.5 years working with a mentor who I unconsciously outsourced all my power and self-trust to. I worked with this person for a long time and I learned so much valuable and important information from this person. I am also so aware of how much I rejected my own self-trust at the same time though. And this person has a super set way of doing business, and I decided that they were right and that I wasn't going to be successful if I didn't do things in that way. I also did not feel super supported or empowered or encouraged or seen, which I realized how crucial this is for me when I'm being coached. At the end of the day, though, it wasn't that. It was the fact that I couldn't make a move without thinking that they were judging me or that they weren't going to approve. I squashed all of my own ideas because they didn't fit within the scope of what the mentor told me that I could do. And what I'm saying is, yes, you should be supported by a coach, but they should not be where you outsource your power and your self-trust to. It should not feel like you can't take an action or they'll judge you or disapprove. Plugging into a mentor should feel expansive and like you are the leader of your business and you know yourself best. Of course, ask for their opinion because that's what you hired them for, but you are capable of being a powerful leader all on your own. You started a business to lead yourself and to be truly self-employed, not so you can follow the advice of someone else and trust that they know you and your business better than you do. Got it? Good. So my loves, we made it. Like I said, I could make so many more of these and I probably will, but for now, we are at the end. Remember to head over to the show notes and either apply to one-to-one coaching when you're ready to scale to 6 and or multiple 6 figures, or when you're ready to scale past 0K to 5K income months, unfilter your content, get visible, and sign clients in the Fraud Squad, my 12-week mastermind. There's something for everyone at the link in my show notes. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at YourCoachJill. See you next time.